Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to T, South Dakota for tonight's game for the Watertown Arrows versus the T Area Titans. I'm Sam Mooney, and join me in the stands tonight. In the stands tonight is Tyson Zemlicka. We got a little different setup here tonight in T. We are in the visiting section of the visiting section of the stands versus in a booth tonight. So we took our setup on the road, and we're gonna make the best out of it. But it's gonna be a great experience, no?
Yeah, somebody must have got a few names on that petition to get us going on the road here tonight, Sam. So it's gonna be a fun experience with this Watertown crowd. A little bit different for us, but it's gonna be fun.
So you'll just have to bear with us a little bit as we may fight through some sun. We're not super high up, so we're not gonna have great angles and a view of the field, but we'll do our best. Our camera crew will have great views, and you might hear some wind, but hope you have some good times with us and show us some grace and patience as we go through this. So let's get into tonight's game. The 5-3 T Titans versus the 6-2 Arrows. What does T do good, Tyson?
They run the ball out of a lot of formations. I know we talked about a few weeks ago with Mitchell how they ran the ball, so many different run plays that we're going to be prepared for. Tonight is going to be the different formations that T throws at you. There's these wing T formations where they have their slot receiver typically lined up right off the tackle or off the tight end. A different look for sure that Watertown has not seen. Most importantly, just a lot of formations, basic run plays that Arrows have seen all year, but just got to get lined up, assignment, technique, doing your job, and I'm excited to see the Arrows defense have a little bit unique of a challenge tonight.
So T is going to run, and they're going to run a lot. Like Tyson said, there's a lot of exotic formations. There's a lot of guys from T that are going to touch the ball, so let's highlight the main 4 guys that are going to touch the ball for T. You're going to see 4 guys touch the ball about 10 times. You're going to see 3 guys touch the ball anywhere between 10 and 15 times, and you're going to see 2 guys touch the ball about 20 times. It's going to be Riley Savanda, Keegan DeYoung, Brenner Conrad, and Tyler Reed.
Yeah, when we watch film, it was different games with different guys, but yeah, for the most part, they're always feeding 3-4 different mouths, and they're efficient. This is a good football team. They run the ball a lot. Again, out of so many different formations on a week-to-week basis, you don't really know what to expect or who's going to be the guy. Keegan DeYoung really stands out to me as he's always the guy they try to feature in their offense. But again, they're going to spread it all the way around tonight.
Okay, we're going to take a quick 30-second pause for the greatest song ever composed, and we'll be right back.
Please observe proper flagging by standing at attention, placing your right hand over your heart. Active duty personnel or veterans not in uniform may salute the flag as the T Area High School Band plays our national anthem. Our colors are presented by T Legion 266, and we ask that you please hold your applause until they are off the field. The American Legion Post 266, we
just
thank
like
you for your
that,
service to our community, also to
greatest
our
flag on the
country.
planet has exited the field, and before we get
Now,
into
welcome to tonight's
football
event. The
talk,
schools participating in this event are members
I
of the
really
South
think that we
Dakota
need to
High
give
School
a quick
Activities
shout out here
Association.
to the
They
production
adopted the
crew
rules
of
under which this
Aero
game is
TV. I mean, it's
conducted.
pretty
They strong
incredible
commitment to excellence,
what
fair
we're
play,
looking at here.
and
We got
sportsmanship
1,
are all
2,
vital
3,
to this event's
4, 5,
success.
6,
We remind you to cheer only in a
7 up
positive
here with
manner,
us.
and to be respectful
There's a
of the
couple more on
officials'
the field. I
decisions.
think we got a crew
Tier
of
High School
10
wants
or
all
12
fans to
people
watch the
here
game in the stands.
with
According
no
to
power.
DAC
Everything's
12
being ran
conference
off
rules,
of a
impromptu youth
generator.
football games will not be
If you
allowed.
see
They
Ryan
have resulted in
Rivers
serious
and
injuries
his
of other
production
schools.
crew
Any and all
out and about in the community,
footballs,
make sure
netballs,
you shake
etc.
his
will
hand
be
and tell him thank you,
confiscated.
because
Please
it's
come to
actually
watch the
pretty
game.
remarkable what
Parents,
we're doing.
please
I have no idea
supervise
how it
your
works,
children.
how we're doing any
Officials for tonight's game
how we're doing
are
any of
Darren
this,
Bird,
but it's pretty
Scott
outstanding.
Boyan,
So
Chad Gordon,
quick shout out to
Jim
them,
Johnston,
appreciate their hard
and
work and
Zach
everything they
Wheeler.
do to put this
They are
on.
registered
So
by the
let's
state
get
of
back
South
to
Dakota
football.
High School
We talked
Activities
about the guys
Association.
from T. We
They
talked
have
about the
worked hard to
exotic
learn the
running.
rules and
We
administer
talked
them
about how
fairly
they're
at
not
this
going to throw
event,
the
and we
ball
request
a
that you
whole lot,
respect
maybe
their
10
honest
to 12,
efforts in
maybe
officiating
15 times
tonight's
depending on the
contest.
game flow. But
now up first,
what does Watertown's
let's meet
defense do
your
really well? They
Titans
stop the run,
team.
right? So that front seven is really good. So what does that front seven have to do to combat this strong run game from T?
The biggest thing with these formations, I tried to touch on it a little bit, but as long as Watertown gets lined up, they know where they're supposed to be. They're not caught off guard by something they're not used to seeing. They're going to be fine. They're going to execute the way they always
Kennedy
do.
Johansson.
It's just, whoever makes those defensive calls, whether it's Simon or Winches, whichever guy it is, that makes sure the Arrows get lined up. They set the strength of the defense and the formation. They will all adjust off that. Even if they're wrong, they have to be wrong as a cohesive unit. As long as they're on the same page tonight, I expect nothing less from what we've seen from them the last 7-8 weeks this year, and they will be good in that front seven.
You're going to see a 6'3", 219-pound sophomore quarterback, Brenner Conrad, who does a lot of sleight of hand, does a lot of play action.
Ramsey
And,
Stansberry.
they'll do some options.
Allison
So if you're Watertown, you really gotta stay contained, and you have to be disciplined in what your assignment is.
Right, just keeping your eyes on your guy. If you got the running back or that wing back or that fullback, whatever your keys are to read, you do it. If you're the backside end, you got to be aware if that quarterback pulls that ball. These guys, again, they run a lot of the basic run plays, but you never know who's going to get it.
Right.
So as long as their eyes are in the right spot on their guy, they should be okay.
This game is much different than it was last week when you knew you could against Mitchell, when you could really set your sights in on two different guys. Here you can't. There's 4 guys that are going to touch the ball 10 or more times, so you really can't. And it's going to be very important for the Arrows front seven to stay disciplined.
I think it's a good thing for the Arrows defense to have this test going forward into the playoffs. You never know what's going to be a little bit different for you in a playoff game. You never know what team's going to throw at you. So tonight, they are going to have to adjust on the fly to things they're not used to seeing. It's going to be really a good test and a good learning experience for the Arrows tonight.
Okay, so now let's switch sides and let's talk about the Arrow offense versus the T defense. T defense, again, they defend the run very well, and their corners are man-to-man, and they're playing press coverage on those wide receivers. So that does bode well for the Arrows offense, no?
Yeah, I think
in regards to the passing game.
Yeah, I think on the you just know you got one guy to beat. If you're the receiver. So when Himrick runs some of these play action things, you're not going to be used to that cornerback biting on things because his eyes are not in the backfield. So you always got to expect these corners going to be sticky in man coverage. In the run game, hopefully you got 1 or 2 less guys to deal with because they're going to be out, eyes locked on the receiver. But again, the progression of Trayton Himrick the last couple of weeks, he's from week 1 to when I watched him last week in Spearfish, he has been so much fun to watch. See if we can get the stats out here for you.
So talking about Trayton Himrick, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the year. I think he's closing in on roughly, bear with us here as we work through the wind here. So Himrick's got just about 1,200 yards passing, yes, and 12 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And like you said, you touched on it a little bit. I mean, the maturation of Trayton Himrick has been super important to this offense. Last year they had 3 passing touchdowns for the entire season. This year with Trayton, they got 12.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, it was no knock on him to call him a bit of a game manager. Now he's really taking command of this offense. He's really developing the play action game to me. He's not just dropping back and throwing to his first read that he looks at. He's stepping back. He's calm in there. He's got that experience under his belt now. He seems like he's just taking it all in at this point. He's playing really good football for the Arrows.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Coach Hodorf opens up the offense a little bit more and gets away from the run some and goes more heavy pass, given that T's defense is so good against the run.
I'm curious to see what he thinks of his wide receiver matchups on these receivers. Sounds like the Arrows will be without Nathan Briggs again tonight.
Yep.
But the Arrows receivers have stepped up in the last few weeks. And again, when you're a receiver, this is what you have to look for and just lick your chops. Man-on-man coverage. These receivers or defensive backs are playing right up on the wide receivers. If you can get one step by them, deliver a good ball, you're off to the races.
So before we get ready for kickoff here, let's just set the stage a little bit. The 6-2 Watertown Arrows are going to be facing the 5-3 T area Titans. And as far as points go in South Dakota high school football, although Watertown's got a better record than T is percentage points ahead of Watertown in the standings. So basically what this comes down to is winner gets the 3 seed, loser gets the 4.
Yeah, and don't ask me to explain those power ranking points. It's between some of the AAA teams they've played, they get a few more points for their losses, and that's fine because tonight's going to decide who really deserves that 3 seed, and that's okay. For the Arrows, the biggest thing to me is this game doesn't determine a lot whether you're the 3 or 4 seed. The biggest thing is momentum going into the playoffs. We want to see limited amount of mistakes, penalties, what the Arrows need to do well so they can execute as sharp as they can next week going into that playoff run. See if everything's kind of cleaned up tonight.
So, regardless, the Arrows should be, in all likelihood, will be hosting a home playoff game next week.
Right.
Where it really, for me, where it comes to important, the difference between that 3 and 4 seed is the difference between playing a team like Huron, who the Arrows handled pretty handedly, versus a team like Aberdeen Central, who the Arrows were able to just squeak out a win versus.
Yeah, that was a tough game for the Arrows, and that was, to me, not one of their worst games this year. But again, having it at home, it sounds like next week should be great. The big thing for me tonight is the play of Spencer Winches the last few weeks. When the Arrows got him back, he has been an absolute game changer. We talked about 2 weeks ago. Every time he touches the ball, it seems like he scores. He does that again last week against Spearfish. He leaks out on a tight end delay, takes it 65 yards for a house call. He brings a lot of juice on defense. He gives you a lot of explosive plays on offense. He has quietly turned into one of my favorite Arrows to watch, play in and play out. Even when he's at fullback, he's doing a lot of the dirty work for this team.
Absolutely.
And he's going to have to be big. He's going to have to be big here again tonight because the Arrows going to ask a lot of him.
Averaging 40 yards in the air is Spencer Winches, and then an additional 20 on the ground. But those 20 yards are those tough dog numbers.
And it seems like every time he touches it, it's a first down, a touchdown, or some sort of a big play. So we'll see what big play comes for him tonight.
So the ball is lined up. It's a little windy here in the stands, but it looks like the ball is going to stay on the tee nicely. So tee's going to kick off, and your Watertown Arrows are going to be receiving the ball first. Looks like Owen Sparts and Juven Hudson back to receive. We'll see what kind of leg the tee kicker has. And, there's the first announcer jinx of the day.
Yeah, you called out right in the spot. That darn wind. If we can get that wind to go down just a touch and that sun to get out of our eyes, would be great. 30 minutes, that sun will be out of our eyes, but that wind might pick up as the night goes on.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's the last announcer jinx of the day, unless it's, maybe for the away, or excuse me, for the home team. It's so different to talk about like that. We're going to have to get used to talking about the away team versus the home team so much.
So that is weird. I said even first night when you said we're on the visitor sideline, I kind of looked at you like you were wrong, but yeah, we're in T, South Dakota tonight.
We are in T, South Dakota. All right, and the kick is up and it's away, and it looks like it's going to be Juven that's going to take it. It's going to a little risky catch getting it over his head. Takes it down to roughly the 30-yard line. Hard to say from up here, so you're just going to have to bear with us a little bit as we.
Looks like the 25.
At the 25, okay. As we navigate through some of the challenges of taking the game out onto the road here.
We get to look right into that sunlight here the first few plays.
I'm calling in sick tomorrow with a migraine headache. I'm calling it now.
I already called in this morning, so.
All right, so the Arrows are going to take the ball. It's going to be 1st and 10 on the 24. It looks like Hemrick's going to start under center with a single back, Juven behind him. Going to hand off here to the right side. Juven's going to find that lane right in between that guard and the tackle and fall forward for just a couple.
And right off the bat, the first thing I noticed, those T cornerbacks, they are playing right up in that press man coverage. Right now, Watertown's kind of going into the wind here just a little bit. When they have it at their back, maybe they take a few shots, but
it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Watertown passing game when they've got those corners that are going to be press coverage on the receivers. I mean, basically what can happen there is, especially with that safety playing down deep like that in the box, you got one-on-one coverage on the outside there, and there's opportunities there, and I think Hodorf will find them as the game progresses. Juven's going to take this one right up the middle, and that's exactly what we talked about in pregame. That T run defense is no joke.
No, it's solid. It's very similar to Watertown's. They get after the ball. And that's what allows these corners to play in man coverage press. They don't need a lot of help on the back end. Everybody's kind of loaded up in the box. But we're going to see that first pass attempt of the game coming up here.
Yeah, you would think on 3rd and 9 here from the 25 that you will see that first pass attempt. We'll see what happens as they've got twins top and call it double up top and on the bottom with Juven to the right. And Hemrick's in shotgun. Hemrick's got some time and he looks, oh boy. It looked like he was looking for Mitch Olson on a slant, and the T defender stepped right in front of it.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of room in that middle area there. It's so tight and packed in. Those linebackers were expecting pass. Ran a slant route kind of right into it. Just a tough mistake there by Hemrick early.
Yeah, it looked like what happened there was Hemrick had that one read and that one read only. And, the defender for T, give him credit, he did do a nice job and stepped right in front of it. And here's one of these different run formations that we'll see here. It's not a traditional I as 14 goes in motion. He's going to hand off here this time to 30. 30's going to go on the right side. He's going to pick up a few. And we're going to, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see a lot of this. We are going to see a lot of different guys touching the ball for T. We talked about the 4 different guys, and there's just one out of the 4.
Right. The benefit for Watertown is T is going to huddle up most tonight. So it does give you a little bit of time to get that defense set when they come out of their huddle, kind of be able to line up where you're supposed to and get all your calls made.
It's also going to give Watertown time to substitute in and get the right package in. So Tia is going to line up here and going to send 14 back in motion. Roughly the same formation, just a different play out of it. This time in the inside handoff to 14, who's going to pick up enough for the first down.
Right side, Cole McKinney.
I believe.
Yeah, and again, that's the receiver we talked about before the start of the game. He's listed as a receiver on the program, but he runs the ball a fair amount of the time too, just like everybody else. And you never know what 4 or 5 guys is going to be touching the ball.
Yeah, that's number 14, Cole McKinney. He's a 5'11", 137-pound junior, but from what we could see on tape, he does fly.
And he was one that kind of runs some of those sweeps back across the formation. And he's at the wing spot again now.
Yeah, so we get to set it up here. It's 1st and 10 on the 11-yard line. T can still get a first down without scoring a touchdown. And this time, the quarterback's going to keep it himself. He's going to go on the left side there.
Keeper by number 15, Bernard Conrad, brought down.
That's going to take him down by Peyton Bisker with the tackle, and it's going to get him down real close to that goal line. I think it'd be 2nd and 4.
Yeah, just a little 2nd and 3, but
2nd and 3
just
from the 4.
Just a little quarterback power there. Again, nothing fancy. Just adjusting to it, lining up right, and being able to read your keys and make the play.
I'll be really surprised if we see any kind of pass here at all for the remainder of this drive. And then they're going to go right back to 14 on the exact same play as they ran a couple plays ago. And Watertown's really going to have to shore up that front 7.
It's hard because it's that opposite outside linebacker that's got to see him coming at him, and it's not typically where that linebacker's used to looking on a formation. He's used to looking in the backfield at a running back or a fullback. Instead, he's got to keep his eyes on that backside wing. And so far in the first 2 plays, has not quite been ready for it.
The tough part is that you can see this on film, you can see it on tape, you can talk about it, you can have the scout team offense. You can go over and over it on practice and in the film room until you actually experience it. It's a completely different animal, as T's extra point is no good.
It's always one of those things when the scout team runs it, it's never going to be at full speed or executed quite like the other team's varsity will run it, especially T. They're a very good football team. So tough start there for the Arrows offensively and defensively. Long game ahead. You just got to get lined up and communicate these things. And as soon as you see him coming back, we always used to yell, swipe. Just something you knew that guy was coming back. You kind of communicate across. Arrows got to be all on the same page here going forward.
So you had 4 plays, 27 yards, touchdown run by number 14, Cole McKinney, and that's set up on the interception by Trayton Hemrick, his 4th of the year. So Watertown's going to have to reset here on offense. You had 2 running plays that were pretty well stuffed, and then you had a pass play that gets intercepted. if you're Watertown, you really don't want to get away from what you do good, and what you do good is run. But at some point, it's almost like the irresistible force meets the immovable object.
Right. I think Watertown's going to stick with what they're doing, especially when it comes running the ball. But when it's the passing plays, you're going to have to challenge these cornerbacks vertically, not across the middle where all those linebackers are sitting. Take advantage of those one-on-one matchups.
So Owen Sparks returns the kick, and he goes right up to the middle of the field, and it looks like he is met by a slew of Titans.
Return by number 35.
It's going to set up a 1st and 10 for your Watertown Arrows 20-yard line?
Tyler Reed for the Titans.
Roughly 20-yard line?
Yeah, right in that area.
Tough to see.
Sparks returns at the 24-yard
So,
line.
24-yard line, it looks like. Yep. So 1st and 10 for the Arrows on the 24. We'll see. Now you got Wenches in. Wenches wasn't in the last formation or in the last series.
Get a little more of that power football.
They're gonna have to put hat on hat here, and that's exactly what they're doing, is running that power format, power football in that traditional I formation.
There he
And
is.
he's gonna play action, and he's got Wenches out there for a few yard gain there.
Put him in and get him the ball right away. Don't mess around.
Hemrick's play action game has really improved from week 1 to now. And we see it there, and it looks like he just picked up a 1 yard. But if anything, I mean, you completed a pass,
Right,
get things going a little
just
bit.
getting a first down is huge. But yeah, Hemrick's progression this year has been, his growth has just been incredible to me. He's become a really good football player for the Arrows team. He's going to have to make some big downfield throws today. You can see with this press man.
So in shotgun here, and he's going to hand off to Juven, and Juven is going to try to take it off tackle on the left side there, and there's just not a lot of room for Juven to run right now.
T is fast. You can't just try to bounce it outside all night like you've maybe done in some of the past games. This is a fast defense that flies the ball. You're going to have to, if it's dive or if it's power, you're going to have to stick to where the, kind of where you're drawing it up here. You're not going to be able to just bounce it out and bust a long one every time.
Yeah, so it's going to set up a 3rd and 15 on the 19-yard line, and here let's see if Hemrick can have enough time to maybe go through his progressions and find a guy. I mean, that safety is all the way down at the bottom of the backs. I mean, you got man coverage pretty much everywhere.
Mitch Olsen.
And there you go. He goes deep to Mitch Olsen. He's fighting one-on-one. And it looks like it's an incomplete pass. Mitch is asking for a flag, but he's not going to get it. And I think that's what we need to see more of.
You're going to have to. That's the boundary they were on. That's the guy I expected him to go to. Looked at him the whole way. Didn't have a lot of safety help, even on 3rd and 15. That's going to have to be what the Arrows' game plan is going forward.
Agreed.
Is just kind of sticking to that pass, make them honor it, get a few guys out of the box. And when you start completing a few of those passes, it's going to lighten up in there.
Well, and those 50-50 balls, if you can win a majority of them, that's gonna bode well for you. I think Hemrick put up a good ball there and gave Mitch a good chance to go get it. As the punt comes in and gets a good Arrow roll, it's gonna go to about the 47-yard line. So it's going to be good field position for T again. But going back to that pass to Olsen, I feel like moving forward, that's going to be a recipe to put some points on the boards for the Arrows.
Absolutely. They're going to have to rely on that more. But T's cornerbacks in their secondary, they will not back off until a couple of those passes have been completed. They're going to challenge Hemrick tonight, and he'll be up for the task.
Yeah, I think he will too. I mean, that was a nice ball that he gave there. He gave Olsen an opportunity. There was some hand checking there. I mean, I don't necessarily mind the refs letting them play there and not throwing the flag, but we'll see what happens. See if the Arrow defense can step up as T takes the ball back with on the 47 here. They're going to hand off to number 8. He's going to go right in front of us and right up the middle.
Simon Hendrickson on the tackle.
And number 67 was introduced to big old number 78, Micah Hawk there. So speaking of Micah Hawk, that young man has got a bright future. Spent some time on the phone today with the University of Nebraska.
He's for playing seven games in his high school career, or 8 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just getting better every week too.
Yeah, not bad. So we'll have wide receivers at the top of your screen, split backs here for T, as it's 2nd and 7, and he hands off to number 14. Number 14 does a good job of cutting and going up the middle, but again, he's met right away by Wenches and Austin Johnson.
Yeah, Austin Johnson's been big having him back too. This linebacking core from Watertown is so tough, one of the best in the state. But again, they were lined up there. You know, this drive they've been a little bit more comfortable. They've adjusted that motion. You know, we'll see if that wing, it's kind of that speed reverse almost comes in here again. But Watertown's lining up at least, and they look ready to go now.
Yeah, you get the 3 down linemen, the 4 linebackers. So Watertown staying in their traditional 3-4 defense. We'll see if those defensive linemen can get a push. If Caden Beauchamp and Big Micah Hawk can get in there and disrupt the timing here. We're going to see T's first pass. Looks like it might have been a blown option. And 15 is going to run for, I think he's going to be short of the sticks.
He is short.
I think that was supposed to be. Let's see if we can get a replay here. I want to say that was intended to be an option, and the running back got clipped and kind of fell down. And then the quarterback was forced to run with it.
Jeremiah Schulte with a nice tackle there to get the Arrows here on 4th and 2.
Yeah,
looks like T's going to go for it.
Yeah, regardless, the Arrows did a good job of at least forcing the 4th down. So we're going to have 4th and 2 on the 45. T's going to be in a tight formation. I think everybody on the planet knows what's coming. It's just if the Arrows can stop it or not. And there it is, right, and that's going to be a first down for T, right off the left side there.
Yeah, Simon Hendricks got in the backfield almost as quick as he could. He was maybe just a half step behind getting there and making a nice 2-yard tackle for a loss and getting the ball back for the Arrows.
Got the replay here, courtesy of Dakota Land Federal Credit Union. And yeah, Simon was right back there, and then he was met by, hard to see there.
Like we said, Keegan DeYoung, though, he really is their main guy when they need someone. That is probably the guy they go to most.
So 1st and 10 for T on the 41-yard line. Back to that tight formation, and they're going to go play action this time. 15's got all day to throw. He's going to go deep, and you know, here's the thing, that when T throws,
you're just not used to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to catch you off guard because they will throw, but they won't throw a lot. But typically, the T quarterback, the sophomore quarterback, he's in there to run more than he is to throw.
Right. I'll tell you this, they will be coming back to that play. They ran a play-action fake with the running back number 30, and he took off up the chute, and nobody saw him. So look for that play later to come in the game. Somebody needs to keep an eye on him. He is a very fast young man. He's got a couple kick returns for touchdowns this year. Can't fall asleep on that play-action fake to the running back, though.
So I have a single back with a guy in motion here, and he's going to hand off to the lead back, which is number 8. You know, and they're really doing that tough work up there. I mean, it's just really power football. It's a lot of dives to start you with, and then they'll put you to sleep with these dives of 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, and then they'll knock you out with a 20, 30 yard.
Right, it's what we talked about. It's not that it's the fanciest run plays. It's just the formations are all so different, so unique. You don't really get used to the same thing twice, and that's when they're going to hit you with a big one, that play action, when they kind of lull you to sleep.
You know, and even like setting the stage here for 3rd and 7 on the 38, the T's not afraid to run the ball here.
Absolutely not.
And in their eyes, they're four down territory here. If they get to 3rd and 4 and make it more manageable, but he is going to pass, and you see there exactly what we're talking about.
A screen pass.
That's a screen pass. It's a short pass, but it's an inaccurate pass.
Yeah. So that one, you know, the T coach got to be kicking himself because that's when you want to complete all day, and now it forces a decision where you're going to punt it because you weren't able to pick up a couple yards there.
Yeah, so, I mean, setting the stage here real fast, looking at some stats for T. You know, you've got 3, 6, 8, 9 run plays, 2 pass plays, so you've got 11 plays to Watertown's 3 passing plays to 6, 11 plays to 6. So,
what a punt.
Geez, that's a phenomenal punt.
And the spawn to punt rolls down inside the
I believe that's called the coffin corner.
That was a heck of a punt.
That is beautiful punt.
What Watertown needs to do is get this quarter over with and switch directions here. When we got here, it was a crosswind, and now the wind is totally at the Arrows' face, and it's really going to make it tough to get that downfield passing game going.
I think what Watertown really needs here would be super important for this game, for the totality of this game. They need to at least pick up a first down. They got to be able to change the field possession.
Yeah, love to get that first down and run this clock out, just so when T does get the ball back, or if they do without us scoring, they're going into the win.
So it's going to be a handoff. I believe that was to Wenches right up the middle there.
Wenches.
Yep.
Yep, that wants to Wenches. What Watertown needs to like you said, absolutely, they need to hang on to the ball for a little bit so they can change the field around. But they also need to change the position, of the field. It's tough right now because Watertown seems to be playing with everything at their back right now, and they're setting up T for short yardage time after time.
Yeah, if they do have to punt into this wind, after Spencer's last punt, they'd be probably looking at only being 35 or so yards out.
So Hemrick's going to drop back to pass. He's got some time. He's scrambling around, and he's going to take off and run with it. We don't see young Mr. Hemrick do that often.
Rush out the pocket by Hemrick.
Looks like he's going to pick up a couple yards, 4 yards.
Yep.
Yeah.
3rd and 4.
Got 4 yards
Again,
there.
that's just going with his development. A couple weeks ago, he would have taken a sack or just thrown it away or not quite knowing what to do with it. There he tucks it away, puts it in his belly, and he gets 5 yards. That's big for the Arrows right now, making it a 3rd and manageable.
So it sets up a 3rd and 4 on the 10-yard line. Hemrick is going to be in a shotgun formation with Juven to his left, looking right on that slant that he had earlier. The pass is going to be broken up. Looks like it was intended for, is that Coltrane? Or is that Cohen Krantz? It's Cohen Krantz.
Yep, Cohen Krantz. Again,
Yeah.
those slants are just going to be tough with this defense today.
So it looks like he had him there, but I wonder if that T defender maybe had been there just a touch early.
It's tough. He's getting jammed. If you don't get a great release, by the time you get open, the linebackers are right there, and they're coming.
When you're getting jammed like that, it's hard to run that slant. I wonder, oh boy, there's a punt that goes straight up and down, and then it does not take a Watertown bounce, and that's exactly what you were talking about with the wind, Tyson.
Yeah, I was thinking they'd be 30, 35 yards out. Looks more like it's going to be 25.
Yeah.
21-yard line.
Those slants are tough when they're jammed because you have to get off the guy and then get to your spot. Maybe we could start running some flies. There's no safety help. It's one-on-one coverage. Mitch Olsen could jump out of the roof, can't he?
Yeah, I think they're going to put that slant away for a little while. That's tough on 3rd and 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. Those linebackers are all set up right there. They're already getting jammed. You need a really good release, and you got to hit him quick. That's got to time up a lot better than letting that receiver get all the way to the middle of the field.
3 series, 3 and outs for the Watertown offense as T takes the ball on the 21-yard line and hands off this time to number 4. And a lot of these plays that we're seeing, they're very similar. They're in between that guard and their tackle. It's the same formation, but it's just a different guy getting the ball all the time.
Yeah, you've always been taught to kind of read that fullback. He usually takes where you're going. In this case, that fullback doesn't always line up in the same spot, and they have different personnel. It's the same guy's not always the fullback, which is also what you're traditionally used to seeing. So Watertown's kind of got an uphill battle all over tonight, just in who's getting the ball or who you're reading.
So T's going to go shotgun with one back, and that one back is going to come out, and there's the screen, this time to number 9. And 9 is going to be tackled pretty quickly.
Number 16 get it?
Number 16
yeah,
is that
Coltrane.
Yep.
Okay.
Couldn't see the number from here. You're going to have to help me. The old guy can't see that far
We're
across
about,
the field.
We're about 15 minutes, I think, from that sun being out of our eyes.
Well, that'll be a blessing for everybody.
Again, we need 35 seconds to get off the clock here. And if they run the ball, which typically they do, maybe have a 4th down going into the wind here.
We'll see what T does here, led by head coach Scott Fry on 3rd and 4 on the 15. And they are going to hand off here to number 4, who's going to be met immediately in the backfield by
Micah Hawk. Or
is that Caden Beauchamp?
67. That's Beauchamp.
Yeah, that's Beauchamp. So Captain ends the first quarter on a positive note here.
I almost thought they might even call a timeout there, Sam. If they're going to kick a field goal, they definitely should.
No, they're going to go 4th and 6 roughly. They're going to turn and go to the opposite end of the field, but I think what we're going to see here is we're going to see T go for it here on 4th and 6. We'll take this time to take a quick timeout, brought to you by Dakota Land Federal Credit Union as we close the first quarter and move into the second quarter.
As the doors rise on a new day, Burns' legacy lives on with the next generation of owners.
I'm Juven Hudson, and you're watching WHS Football on Aero TV.
This is Nathan Lamb, class of 98, member of the 1996 state championship football team. And you're watching Watertown football on Arrow TV.
Okay, and we are back, and we're going to switch fields. And before we do that, just take a quick second here to thank Sharp Chevrolet of Watertown. Sharp was nice enough to borrow us a big old Yukon to where we could haul all our crew and our equipment, and so
They're not letting us keep that?
well, you know, I mean, hey, if anybody from Sharps is listening, if maybe we can just, maybe if we could just hang on to that for, I don't know, 5-6 years with no payments.
We'll get it back when the Arrow TV we're done doing it.
Yeah. So big shout out to Sharps. Go see those guys. Super, super nice of them. So it's going to be 4th and 6, and as expected, T's going to go for it. This time the sun is not at us, and they are going to pass. They got a screen, and it's sniffed out right away by, is that Hendricks? Looked like, yeah, it was.
Yeah, he just missed that tackle there.
Yeah, Simon Hendricks was right on top of him. He sniffed it out really well, and he just missed that tackle. It sounds like it was cleaned up there by Owen Sparts.
Yeah, gosh, kind of caught Watertown sleeping there. Not Simon. He just ended up missing the tackle then. But on a team that you don't expect to throw it downfield, that's when you'd like to think you're ready for. But
well, a little screen pass, and Simon did a nice job. But also give credit to the receiver, you know, for making it miss. I mean, Simon 9 times out of 10 is going to make that tackle. So T's going to have the ball 1st and goal at the 10. They're going to be in that single back formation. They're going to hand off to 4, and 4 is going to cut inside. I mean, we're going to see it continually, see it over and over. Micah Hawk, Caden Beauchamp, Austin Johnson, Simon Hendrick, big old.
You say Austin Johnson?
Yeah, Austin Johnson and Lambert,
Caden Decker.
You know, those guys. That front 7 is really going to be tested tonight, because we're going to see that play and similar plays to that over and over and over again.
Yeah, Watertown's adjusted well, it seems like, after that first drive where they kind of walked down the field. But yeah, the front 7's been a lot better since those first 4 or 5 plays.
Similar formation, not quite a traditional I, but again.
There's that reverse again.
And this time it goes to 30, and this time instead of putting it, you know, sticking his foot in and going north and south, he tries to go east and west a little bit and get off tackle. But again, another similar result. It's a 2-yard gain. And, you know, the Arrows defense is really answering the call now at this time. If we can force T into 3 and 7, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6, and get him into those passing formations, that's good news for the Arrows defense.
Right, this is a huge drive here. You know, you're gonna, if you can get a stop here, you'll get the win at your back. You can start moving, go score some points. Again, look for one of those rocket screens again, or maybe just a bubble screen underneath. Probably a run play coming here first, I guess, on 3rd and 7.
Yeah, 3rd and 7, and it looks like they're in a traditional I. Watertown's in a zone defense here. Looks like Bisker's going over to help out on that slot receiver a little bit.
Option.
They're going to option here, triple option. They're going to go to 14. Watertown does a good job of containing, but Coltrane misses the tackle, and 14 walks into the back to the end zone.
I've seen a couple more missed tackles tonight than usual for the Arrows. I'm not sure if again, if it's the speed of T tonight or just not quite sharp, but Arrows don't quite look like they're as ready to go as what we've been kind of used to seeing them.
You know, and Arrows are typically sure tacklers. Like you said, they typically don't miss a whole lot of tackles. We've seen them miss 2 big tackles. Big tackle on 3rd down, big tackle on 3rd and goal. And then, you know, what it leads to is it leads to 6 and potentially 7.
Yeah, the best thing I'd say for Watertown at this point is they've made quite a few mistakes, or they've not capitalized on opportunity. So the fact that they're only, looks like, going to be 12 points down, they got a lot to look forward on here, but it's going to have to start now with the wind at their back going down the field.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, even though the scoreboard says down 12-0, there has been a pretty big improvement from that first drive to this drive.
Especially defensively, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, solely speaking on defense, the 3rd drive was exponentially better than the first.
Right.
Minus those 2 missed tackles. If you take away those 2 missed tackles, if those tackles are made, you know, you're in really good shape at that point.
Right.
But so now transitioning from the defense over to the offense has to be able to move the ball. They have to be able to move the ball. They got to give the defense a break. You know, I mean, Beauchamp and Micah Hawk and Lambert, I mean, some of those guys are going both ways. But the offense has got to be able to sustain a drive. If anything, just for momentum. And they got to flip the field.
Right, this drive's going to go a long way to determining the outcome of this game. If the Arrows can at least get a couple first downs here and control the clock a little bit and move, of course, out of nowhere now, the wind is just totally, feels like it's almost died down. So, a little bit of a break for T, but still, Arrows got to capitalize here.
I think they call that home field advantage.
They turned the fans off?
Yep, exactly. Somewhere in the Metrodome, someone's smiling. We've got two guys going for the ball here. Is that Lincoln Scott? Look at him. I think that is Scott.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's my boy.
That's the best play we've had so far with the ball in our hands tonight.
I do like to see Lincoln Scott with the ball. He's a freshman, and he is explosive.
Two guys were fighting over it. We should have known he was going to get it. He was going to take it away.
If there's two guys fighting over it, one of them's Lincoln Scott, give it to Lincoln Scott.
Money's on him that he's taking it.
Yeah. Apparently, Lincoln's got a little brother that's coming through the system that's as good or maybe even better than Lincoln. Keep in mind, Lincoln's a freshman, and he's touched the ball quite a bit.
I'm excited to see that. Even if he's as good, I'm excited to see that.
Absolutely. So here we go with the Arrows taking the ball over. 1st and 10 on the 43. Juven is the single back. He's going to play action to Juven, go to that out to Wenches, and Wenches has got a little bit of room. Geez, that's a pretty good tackle from T there by number 17, Tyler Reed.
Yeah, T hasn't missed any tackles tonight. They've really been sticking to guys. Winch is the one that's really kind of got free. Couple 4-yard gains when he's got the ball in his hands. We're not used to not seeing him touch it and score or get a first down.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the Arrows can capitalize on here. They got some momentum with the Scott return. Completed a pass right away.
Power right.
Gonna hand off to Juven. Juven's got a little bit of room, and he wiggles his way to real close to an Arrows first down.
That power play's been good for him all year, getting that guard out and around, leading the way.
Absolutely.
When Juven's been following him, Arrows have been tough to stop offensively.
So the Arrow faithful, Arrow Nation stands up and cheers us on as they complete the first down. They did get enough there for a first down. So it's going to be 1st and 10, and they're going to flip on the other side of the field to the 47. A fast-moving game.
I was just going to say, this game is flying by, isn't it?
Yes. We're going to be home by 8 o'clock at this rate. 1st and 10.
Remember, we're not in Watertown.
We'll see Hemrick's back in shotgun here with Juven to his left. He's going to drop back to pass. He's got some time. He's going to step up in the pocket, make one guy miss, and he's going to drag another one.
Back in the backfield, cleaned up by number 62,
That was just a good job by Hemrick to get away from that sack.
He did a nice job of making the first guy miss, and looks like he lost 2 yards, so that will go down as a sack. It could have been a loss of 6.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And that was, again, changing up the tendencies here a little bit. You're not used to seeing Watertown drop back to pass on 1st and 10, especially following a first down run. So
yeah, would you believe me if I told you there's 8 minutes left in the second quarter, and Juven's carried the ball 4 times?
4 times? Yeah, that's not what you expect, that's for sure. Probably get him back involved here pretty quick. Yeah.
2nd and 12, Juven's alone back behind Hemrick here. He's going to send Pickett in motion. He's going to hand out to Juven. Juven's got space. Juven's got space. He's going to go right up the middle. There's nobody in T South Dakota that's going to catch him.
He's gone.
Touchdown, Juven.
Again, huge for the Arrows.
Absolutely. Needed it. What a phenomenal play by Juven. Great blocking by the Arrows offense. And Juven's going to sprint home for 51 yards. And that's going to cut the lead in half.
I think Juven said, "What's this throw?" and drop back to pass on 1st 10. Don't even play fake me the ball.
I feel like Juven went to Hodorf and said, "Don't you know I'm an all-state, all-world running back?"
You know what? Speaking of that, just 1,000.
That's 1,000 yards for Juven on the season. Absolutely.
He needed 45, and that must have been a 52-yard run, I suppose. Right there, 51 yards rushing. So congratulations to the young man.
Absolutely. Extra point is good, and that extra point is kicked through by your Watertown Arrow kicker, Riley Fisher.
See, now here's where I'm excited to see the Arrow defense. Have a little momentum behind you here. Austin Johnson, Spencer Winches, Simon Hendricks. Come out and deliver a real blow now. Again, a little bit of small breeze. Those fans got turned off, but T's coming into the wind here a little bit. Enforce your will. Let them know who's here tonight. It's going to be a long game still.
The Arrows just said, you know what, we can play with T. And granted, yes, there was a 51-yard run, and we love the long runs by Juven, but there was a first down picked up before that. They gritted out some yards. So now they know that they can do it. And then they can score on this defense. And now what we really need to see is this defense. That doesn't necessarily even have to be a turnover.
Right.
Just get a stop.
The sun's down. The dogs are coming out, Mooney.
Yes, sir.
This Arrows defense is physical. They're tough, and they're ready to go now.
So Juven resetting after that 51-yard run. 5 carries for 53 yards.
Not many missed tackles coming up the rest of the game here, I don't think.
I think you got a different. I mean, there's a different vibe. There's a different energy. The Arrow Nation is on their feet right now. So it's good to see as the Arrows are going to kick off here. And the kick's underway. It's an excellent kick. Stay in bounds. Stay in bounds. Stay.
Shoot.
It's going to go out of bounds. Boy, I tell you what, that is number 39, Tommy Foley. Foley is a fantastic kicker, but that's the second time that we've seen him, and maybe even more. A couple times he's kicked it out of bounds on the kickoff. And with as big of a leg as he has, you know, that field possession is huge.
It's tough. They put him on this hash. They want a positional kick it. That's tough.
Yeah,
Start having him drive down the middle just so we keep it in bounds.
Yeah. So T's going to take over 1st and 10 on the 35. Let's see if the Arrow defense can answer the call. T's going to be in a shotgun with a single back to the right. And it's going to be handed off to number 8, and he's going to go up to left. He's going to make a couple guys miss, and he's going to have a big gain there. Pretty close to a 15 yards. Could be about 12, 13 yards.
I just saw one of the Arrows players get dropped pretty late after the whistle there.
No flag?
No, and I'm okay with that here. You know, get them a little angry here. Let's get upset. I'm not using the word I was going to use here, but get them fired up here a little bit. To start turning over on them.
Well, let's see if that lights a fire under their tush here. Let's see if we can get a stop on 1st and 10. T's going to hand off to 8. It's going to be the same play, just on the other side. And that young man is shifty.
Man, he is
shifty. That is number 8 for T. That's the Keegan DeYoung that we talked about earlier. If we can get a replay brought to you by Dakota Land Federal Credit Union, what you're really going to see on that play is that Arrow defense was there. But this young man is hitting the L1 button, the right one button, or the L1, the R1 button. He's juking people out of their cleats. You know, that's just give credit where credit is due. The Arrow defense was there. They just missed.
Yeah, they've been in position, it seems like all night. They just got to come up and take advantage of these opportunities that are being sent their way. There's a false start. That'll help.
Is that going to be on, I think that's on Watertown, no?
No. The receiver moved. Yep, false start.
Okay, yep, you're right, false start. Sorry, the referee has got his back towards us. Everything's a little backwards.
I've seen T has tried to go on 2 here a couple times tonight. That's the first time that they kind of jumped on themselves. But.
You know, I do see some of that on film from T too. I mean, they do go a little early, but in high school, I mean, you're usually blessed and graced with a little bit of some wiggle room here as T is going to start over here. You're going to keep this time with the quarterback number 15.
Got to get him down.
Got to get him down here, and they do a good job of containing him there. I mean, the middle run, the Arrows are there to stop it. These running backs from T they're elusive, quick feet, making them miss.
Yeah, it's like they never think they're actually going to get tackled. They kind of run that way. Watertown's just, well, that sun's finally out of our eyes now. That's nice. Watertown's in these spots, so they got to do something to take advantage here. Really swing that momentum defensively, kind of in their favor.
You know, T doesn't put the ball on the ground very often either, so if Watertown wants to force a turnover, they're going to really have to work at it and strip that ball out. As T is going to pitch to number 14, and 14 is going to go up the middle. Better. And he's going to be met with a big bear hug from Austin Johnson.
Yeah, I think he's when I got hit in the back a few plays ago.
Perfect.
So he didn't forget that. That's good.
If there's anybody on that defense that you want to upset, it's Austin Johnson. Yeah, great job on the instant replay here, brought to you by Dakota Land Federal Credit Union. Austin Johnson does a good job of putting his big old paws around that young man and not letting him go. It's going to set up a 3rd and 15. These are the downs and distances you want for the Arrows defense.
Right, we clearly see T's not going to be kicking many field goals tonight, so just to be aware of that, probably a screen here, because at this rate they'd probably punt if they don't get any yards.
Well, we'll see if the Arrow defense can hold here. It's a low snap.
Come on,
Puts
Austin.
him off of his point. Austin Johnson throwing him down, and the ball is just out of the reach of the T-Tight, number 14, Cole McKinney. It's going to set up a 4th and 15 on the 30.
They're going to punt.
With 4:24 left, and they're punting into the wind.
God, it's...
So at this point, I mean, if you're the Arrows, do you want to put your base defense out here? I mean, you're at the 30-yard line and punting.
Well, if you're me, you're coming after this one. You can't return it anyway.
Right.
Bring as many guys as you can. Hope that punter fumbles the ball a little bit. See if you can steal one.
Looks like the Arrows defense is playing it a little safe with number 17 Pitkin back there. It's an excellent punt.
Oofta.
But it's gonna.
We'll take it.
Thankfully, it's gonna go out of bounds, or it's gonna go into the end zone there. So the Arrows are going to take over. It's going to be 1st and 10. We're going to take a quick 20-second break. We're going to go to a commercial brought to you by Dakota Land Federal Credit Union, and Tyson and I get some water.
Spencer Wenches, and you're watching Arrow Football on Arrow TV.
I'm Jackson Follick, and you're watching Arrow Football on Arrow TV.
Okay, and just like that, we are back. 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. 4 minutes and 17 seconds left. You know, it's possible even after all this that the Arrows can go into half with the lead.
Sure can here. Bust off another big one.
Hemrick drops back to pass. He's got some time. He's going deep. He's got a man, and that's Wenches. Just over the head of Wenches. You know, you had 2 guys there. You have Pitkin there, and you have Wenches there. I'm guessing that's not how Odorf had it dialed up.
I don't quite think so, but what I will say is this. I would keep trying to take advantage of these passing opportunities a little bit. I know the run, you just had a big run play, but every one of these deep pass plays, it's one-on-one coverage. The defensive back is not looking back at all in this ball. None of those are probably going to be picked off. They're going to fall harmlessly incomplete if they hit the ground. I like taking shots, you know, on this drive the rest of the night going forward.
Yeah, I'd like to see Marcus Pitkin, 5'10", 165-pound sophomore, get into some of these one-on-one 50-50 balls. Play's going to be blown dead by the ref. Number 6 looks like is being introduced to Juven Hudson, and number 6 for T is Jesse Weinbenga, 6'2" backup quarterback.
Was it a false start? I didn't.
Penalty on the Arrows.
Must have been, yeah.
5 yards. False start.
Yeah, false start on the Arrows. It's going to set up a 2nd and 15 from the 15-yard line. 4 minutes and 11 seconds to go, as the Arrows are going to have to regroup here. A first down of some variety here. You know, if you can get 7-8 yards on this play and set up a 3rd and manageable, looks like the Arrows are going to go in their traditional I formation. Typically they run out of this, and they are going to run to Juven. Juven's going to hit that corner, and he is going to get real close.
A little short.
A couple yards short of the first down there, but it really does show a good, I mean, that's fun for us to see from this angle. We don't get to see this angle very often, but it's really fun to see from here that, you know, how explosive Juven's speed really is.
Yeah, that was the first time he was able to get out and around the T defense on the outside. I thought he was a little closer than that, but I guess it was 2nd and 15.
Yeah, 2nd and 15, so it's a great a great run that's going to set up a manageable 3rd and 4, just like we talked about.
Watch Spencer Wenches here, play action out in the flat.
They're going to go back to that traditional I formation, and there's the play action, and there is Spencer Wenches out in the flat.
No, it was 82, but.
Oh, is that? Oh, I'm sorry. I saw the 2 and just assumed that
Cody
it was
Glassman.
I think Mr. Glassman's going to want that one back. I think Hemrick did a nice job. It was a little high on him, but it got him right in the hands. So 4 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. The Arrows are going to be forced to punt here. Thankfully, this time with the wind at their back.
Yeah, it's crazy that those fans keep getting turned off when when we could use them in our back.
Vikings fans remember the Metrodome. Wenches takes the punt, and this time he gets it away.
That's a lot better.
Boomer. Sparts is right there to greet him. Great punt by Spencer Wenches. That's a fantastic job, and an equally good job by Owen Sparts to make sure that that ball doesn't get returned.
Right. Now you'd love to see, you know, the Arrows have one more shot at getting this ball back to go and take to the lead, but the biggest thing is force one more punt, so you can go into this halftime at most just down 5 points.
So Arrow's got 3 timeouts left. We'll see what Hodorf wants to do. I would imagine if he can get it, if he can get 3 stops, you might take one there. If you get 2 stops and force a 3rd and long, kind of like you have been, then maybe you take one of those timeouts.
Yeah, he'd probably wait until at least 2nd, if not even 3rd down. Especially depending on how many yards they get on each play. But we'll see what the Arrows defense can do here.
So T is going to be in their shotgun formation. He's going to hand off right up the middle.
to try it?
All right, Tyson. I think not only are we back from halftime, but I think we're back live.
Well,
Can we get somebody to text or comment on our live feed and let us know that they can hear us?
I thought Remmers was pulling the plug on us. He was tired of listening to us tonight.
Well, it could be. And plus, I mean, he comes back and he says, I just got a text from my brother Josh. Appreciate you, Josh, watching and listening. And he says, you're back. It's like 45. It's Michael Jordan all over again, Tyson.
Yeah. Just in time for the comeback that's coming here, too.
We took some time off, and now we're back. So appreciate everybody sticking with us through the technical difficulties. As we talked about before, we are literally in the stands. We're running off of a generator. We got a crew of about 10 or 12 people, and we're trying to make best with the situation that we have. But good shout out here to the 8 or 9 young men and women that are in front of us that are making this happen.
It's authentic tonight, Sam.
It is authentic tonight.
Said we're going to be happy to be back in with the home crowd next week in Watertown, but
yeah, we'll be back in the friendly confines next week of the good old iconic Watertown Stadium.
It's a cool experience here.
It is. It's a cool experience. The field is cool.
It's a nice night. You know, it's a beautiful night for football.
It is. It is a great night for football. I mean, the players definitely aren't cold as we see Big Micah Hawk walk right in front of us here, and you know, there's no sleeves on that young man.
Yeah, most of these players tonight that are actually, especially playing in the game, none of them are wearing sleeves. They're not cold at all.
Well,
we got our jackets on. We got broke the gloves out, I think.
Yeah, gloves on, jackets on, big coats on. We're ready to go. Okay, so when we got a little bit of time here, we're gonna give you a quick behind-the-scenes look at the production crew of Aero TV, and we'll be back for second half kickoff. Okay, another quick shout out to Sharp Chevrolet of Watertown for the use of the fantastic vehicle. Another shout out to Athletic Director Craig Boyens, arguably the best athletic director in the state. Does a great job of making away teams feel comfortable and accommodating away teams. So I appreciate that out of Craig Boyens. I appreciate the fact that he let these kids get out of school a little bit early and come here so we can put this production on for everybody. While we're giving shout outs, we'll give a shout out to Nate Graff and his team at Sign Pro for giving us some love on his digital billboard on Highway 20, so we appreciate that. There's a lot of good people doing a lot of good things in order to make this happen, but really it kind of starts with Craig Boyens, athletic director, like I said, who accommodates the away team and does such a fantastic job of that, as well as us and the home team, and then also Ryan Remmers.
Hey, did we ever get any word? Was Doug Sharp letting us keep that? Was it a Yukon?
Yeah, it is a Yukon. Doug or Ingalls or anybody else from Sharps that may or may not be listening, why don't you just let us know? I mean, Tyson and I will.
We didn't get to ride down on it, so we should get to bring it back, and I can park it at my house for a few weeks if.
Well, I mean, I feel like we could split it. We could treat it like like custody, Yeah,
that's fine. Split custody.
I'll get it every week. You can have it every other weekend.
If that's fine with Doug Sharp. And those guys, it's fine with me.
Sharp Chevrolet, if you're listening, we appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the clock ticks down to real close to 0 here. Watertown's going to go into the second half chasing 11 points. My Watertown math serves me right. A touchdown, 2-point conversion, field goal. We're right back in it. Disappointing end of the second quarter with 2 passes in the end zone that could have put us 1 score away.
Yeah, you know, we didn't know what the Arrows were going to quite do, philosophize what they were thinking. But 2 slant routes run, perfect balls by Hemrick through the receiver's hands each time. 2 different guys were able to come up with it.
Real quick on those balls by Hemrick, for anybody that's watching at home and says, well, maybe he threw them too hard and that's why they were dropped. He's got to throw it in there. I mean, it's a tight window. I mean, Hemrick put those balls right where they needed to be. Great job. Ball is cold. Hands are cold, you know, so it's a tough catch for those guys down there. Another good kick here, directional punt. This time it's going to stay in bounds, fielded by number 4 for T. He's going to bring it back inside, and just a sensational tackle.
Number 81 for the Arrows.
81 for your Arrows. And as we reset here, number 81 is Marcus Fossum. How many times do we say his name?
It's either him or Scott on the kickoff team. It seems like it's
a
2-man wrecking crew.
Marcus or Fossum is got to get like the special team award. Like, just what a dog.
Both of those 2 guys.
Well, Scott does a good job on the kick return.
That's true.
And you hear Fossum's name a lot on the kickoff. Regardless, here we go with the first drive of the third quarter as we start the second half, and T's going to do what T does, and they're going to hand it off up the middle. This time again back to number 8. They're going to go to the well. We didn't really have a whole lot of time to reset stats. Let's talk about them real fast. Number 8 for T. DeYoung. He's got 9 carries for 96 yards roughly. As a team, they've got 23 carries, 158 yards, 3 touchdowns. The Arrows got to do a good job of stuffing that run. A better job of stuffing that run.
Braden Roth with that last tackle for the Arrows.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. I don't believe T has completed a pass yet or excuse me, they just got the 1 screen. If I
said they had that rocket screen on the.
Yeah. So 17's going to go in motion here for T. Going to hand off to 4. It's going to be the same play. It's going to just be out of a different formation. You're going to go right in between that guard, right in between that center, stick their head down and go forward.
Yeah, that's just what they're going to do. I don't want to discount their quarterback. I think he had a screen pass too, but I don't know if he's completed any passes in front of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I don't believe he has. And okay, so if you're Watertown, you saw it the entire first half. You're seeing it again as we start the second quarter, as we start the second half. What do you got to do?
Well, on offense, you know, you got to keep taking those shots downfield. If T's not going to back up at all, and if they didn't back up at the beginning of the second or the end of that second quarter, they're not going to back up now.
And here we see the quarterback. He's going to go off tackle here, and this time he's going to go outside. He's going to pick up a few more yards, and that's something that we didn't really see a whole lot in the first half. We saw a lot of 8, we saw a lot of DeYoung, but we didn't see a lot of the quarterback.
Not like the sweep just far left like that. You know, maybe a little bit of option with him, and then some scrambling from him, but not so much just design run. So Watertown's been doing a good job on him tonight, keeping him contained, other than that 1 scramble. But
well, we'll see.
8's been the problem.
8's been a problem. He's been a big problem all night as the T goes back on 1st and 10 on the 31-yard line. This time he's going to keep. It's a fantastic play there again by the quarterback. He sticks the ball in 8's pocket, right, and holds it, pulls it back out, keeps it, and runs for another 10 yards.
Delivers a good blow on the end of that run too.
Yeah,
he's running hard.
So he picks up 8. I mean, that's a 6'3", 219-pound sophomore.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a sophomore, I guess.
Yeah, sadly.
I don't know how I missed that. He doesn't look like a sophomore.
No, that's a big boy, and he's only going to get bigger, and he's only going to get stronger.
Jeez.
So it's going to set up a 1st and 10. Just about 9 minutes left in the third quarter here. Might have got away with the false start there with T. Hands off, goes back to the well again and gives it to number 8. He's going to get just about to midfield. Might be right on the halfway mark there.
A credit to this blocking by T here. Even when it's close to maybe a little bit after the whistle, you know, it just looks like a physicality thing right now. If the refs aren't going to call it, not going to stop it, they're going to keep blocking through that whistle, and they're just they just look a little bit more physical tonight, and that's one thing I have not said against the Arrows all year is T looks like the more physical team tonight.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, it's the same things over and over. You know, but it's so hard to stop when they do it as well as they do it. And here's another example. And boy,
it's out!
Ripped it out. That's an Arrow ball.
Sparks got it out.
Sparks was starting a lawnmower there.
Yeah.
And just ripped it right out of there. And then number 2, Peyton Biskert, jumps right on top of it.
It took him 3 or 4 good tugs on that ball, and he was spinning. The running back was spinning around the whole time, getting some yards. But huge play for the Arrows. Sparks was able to get that ball out.
Sparks, like you said, I mean, Sparks did a really good job of starting the lawnmower. He's ripping that cord time after again. And relentless.
Yeah.
Relentless.
Some people don't understand when that happens because he is giving up 5, 6, 7, 8 yards as he keeps pulling every time. He gave about an extra 8 to 10 yards there. But when you get it out, and in a game like this where you need the ball back, the risk reward is worth it there.
Absolutely. So Watertown's going to take over off the turnover. Juven's going to get a couple, but he's going to be met by a slew of T Titans. He's going to set up a second down. Outside of the 51-yard run by Juven, we haven't seen much from him. We haven't seen much from him tonight. We had the 51-yard run, and then his highest after that is 11, but he's got runs of 1-0, -6, 7, 11, 3, 1, and then the 51-yarder.
Yeah, that 11-yarder was down here in front of us. He was able to bounce around and get around the edge. That was really probably his best run of the night. That 51-yard touchdown, nobody really got a hand on him.
Yeah, and I believe sent Pitkin here in motion with a single back. Juven may have got away with a little bit of a false start. I think they were trying to set up a screen there, or maybe get Juven underneath here. I think Juven was trying to pop out there, but regardless, it's going to set up a 3rd and 10 on the incomplete pass.
Watertown sent a couple of guys deep again. They're still going to try and take advantage of that long ball, but that time it took too long to develop and didn't have enough time to get it downfield to them.
Correct me if I'm wrong, with there being no safety, I mean, with the safety being in the box and they're putting 8, 9 guys in the box, they're going to go single coverage on the outside. Can't you take like a 3-step drop and just, yell 500 and throw it up to Mitch?
Even on that was one where he got rushed right away. Even on his back foot, he had to step right up in the pocket right away, but theoretically, yes.
They're going to roll him out, and they're going to throw it short of the sticks to Pitkin. And it's going to be dropped. Incomplete ball. So Arrows are going to go 3 and out. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to take advantage of the turnover. We'll see if Wenches can get off a good punt here, flip this field position.
Again, got that wind at your back now here on this punt. Spencer drove the last one that he had.
Yeah, just a fantastic punt the last one. We'll see if he can replicate that. Snaps away, he's got time. Another good punt
this
up into the lights of Thursday. Good bounce by the Arrows on that turf. It's gonna go to 25, 24 maybe? Good job by Spencer Wenches. So Tyson, let's talk about that. We really haven't addressed that. This is the first time that you and I have seen turf this season. So big difference for the Arrows playing on grass or playing on turf versus grass?
They've, at this point in the year, they've played up in Aberdeen. They had it. I believe Spearfish had it.
Yep.
I don't know if Huron had it when they were there.
Yep,
it's something they're pretty used to now.
Yep.
I think the biggest thing on their mind coming into the game is if it's going to be cold, if they got to wear sleeves or not. But like I said, it couldn't end up being a much better night for football for these kids.
Yeah, super nice night. 1st and 10 on the 23, 7 minutes and 17 seconds left as T goes back to work. I'm going to go on a limb and say they're going to hand it off, and they do. And this time met by a slew of Arrows, and that might be maybe back to the line of scrimmage. This time they hand it off to number 13, Dawson Hymers.
He must have got about 4 yards there.
Caden Beauchamp on the tackle, and apparently they picked up 4.
It's a different view for us tonight here. We're not quite as used to the setup. It's definitely easier to see the whole field, but we're not quite as high up to be able to look down on it and see it as
yeah, it's tough to see the yard line, and then it's hard to see any guards pulling, and I'd really like to see that too. Especially with this T team and the amount of running that they do and how successful they do at it. Sets up a 2nd and 6 here, and I believe that's a quarterback keeper, and boy, that kid runs hard. That is an impressive run by that young man right there. Took down 2 of our Arrows, did a great job on the fake, held it and took it all the way on the other side of the field.
It comes back to being physical again, Sam.
Yeah, here it is. Watch him here. Runs through a would-be tackler, runs through a second tackler. But I will say, we didn't see at the end of that replay there brought to us by Dakota Land Federal Credit Union, but we did see Caden Beauchamp run about 30 yards as a defensive end, turn around and go make that play. I mean, that's a lot of gut, a lot of heart from him. So 1st and 10 here. T crosses the midway mark, hands it off to number 8, who goes up the middle, makes a couple guys miss.
I'm still just impressed with that young man being a sophomore. All the film I've watched, I guess he doesn't look like one. 219 pounds, and he does run hard.
Yeah, the quarterback's a sophomore. He's a big boy, does run hard, runs angry.
Yeah.
Angry run. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And then number 8.
Yeah, Keegan DeYoung.
Yeah, DeYoung.
They both run just mean and physical,
yeah.
downhill.
Yes. So T's going to take over here and play action this time. He's got some time. He's going deep to the outside here, and he connects on a deep ball complete to T's number 9, Brock Ellingson. That's a big boy too. That man is 6'5", 203 pounds.
That was a nice looking throw out of his hand too.
It's good as a good route by T.
Yeah, as much as I want to say I'm surprised they don't throw more. You just doesn't seem like they have to. They don't even want to, the way they run the ball.
T played Pierre last week and played Pierre really tough to a one-possession game, but that was in a monsoon.
Yeah.
So that really played to T's favor because Pierre wasn't able to throw the ball a lot. But the arrows have really stuck with them. Things are slowly slipping away here as T just grinds out that clock. Tyson, there's 4.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, this clock just stays running the whole time, the way these two offenses really operate. But again, they do an option there, and I believe that was Spencer, that's more the outside linebacker on this side. And there's nobody's accounting for the running back. It's like I said, Watertown's been a little off balance all night, as well as maybe not being quite as physical. It's kind of looked like, but they're just not firing on all cylinders like I'm used to seeing them, especially on defense.
Yeah, I don't disagree. We talked about it a little bit in the first half. There's quite a few missed tackles. There's a great tackle there.
That Jaden Lambert?
Yeah, that's Lambert in, and then there was somebody else that cleaned up there too. So nice job by the Aero defense holding strong there as we tick under the 4-minute mark. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 8 after the way that the extra point has gone for Titans. I believe they're in 4-down territory here, no?
Yeah, especially the way they're running the ball. Why not just see if you can bust a few tackles and get through?
So T's going to go in a little traditional I formation here, which we haven't seen a whole lot of. See what they do out of this.
He's taking off. That's a flag.
Yeah, get a false start. Movement on 30, was it 13?
Yeah, he false start.
Yeah. Stevie Wonder could see that one.
Easy.
3.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter here as the clock just zooms away. 18 to 7 T brings up a 3rd and 14. So if you're T, are you going to try to move the ball in the air here?
I'm going to say yeah. I'm going to see like the second drop back pass of the night here. No play action or nothing. I want to see him just drop back and throw.
And look for number 9, all 6'5" of them here. They might have got away with another false start. He's got time. He's going to throw up a lob in the back of the end zone. They're going to get the arrows for hitting him a little early. That was number 4 for the arrows, and that's Jeremiah Schulte.
Yeah, I actually thought they were going to call him that he hit him in the head, but they are going to call pass interference.
Yeah, and he may have been there. Let's see if we can. I missed the replay.
I did too. He definitely.
All right, here we go. Replay brought to you by Dakota Land Federal Credit Union.
Ooh.
I think it's bang bang, but I think what really got him there is he didn't turn his head.
Yeah, and it's underthrown.
Yep.
You see that a lot more in the NFL nowadays too. That ball's getting underthrown, just kind of setting up the PI, just making it easy for him.
Yeah, here, look at this angle. This is a great angle here, brought to you by Dakota Land Federal Credit Union. You can see it right here.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he gets, like you said, the ball's underthrown. He doesn't turn his head. He's playing the player, not the ball. I think any ref in the state's going to throw that flag.
Unfortunately, I do agree with you there.
So if 15 is going to get back under center here, and this time he's going to hand off to 8. Gosh, we've seen that play.
He really lowers his pads. He gets up under the defender and he drives him back.
Tyson, is that the best? I mean, outside of Juven, is that the best running back we've seen this year?
I would say indefinitely. I mean, he's almost a little bit more like
he's being.
Juven doesn't mind running by you either.
No.
You know, he'll just lose you. This guy kind of wants to run through you. It's like he'll pass up a touchdown just to go hit somebody if he can. So.
Yeah, 4th and 1 here at the 4. Big play here for the Arrows, and yeah, they're just going to go right behind the big center there, and use that big frame of the sophomore quarterback, and that's going to be a first down. You know, when you've got a 6'3" quarterback. And T runs the ball the way they do. I mean, we might see this again.
Here it comes again, yeah.
Looks a little bit like the brotherly shove. And is that what we're seeing?
I might want to call it. That's probably the best thing to call it on there.
Is that what we're seeing there? Is the brotherly shove?
And they run it as well as anybody with that running back that looks like he's stronger than Knox back there pushing him in.
It did look like he got behind there and pushed the big T quarterback. You know, a question for you: who made that play famous?
I think it was the Philadelphia Eagles, Sam.
Yes, sir, it was. So you
knew that one.
These guys must be watching good football on Sundays.
I was reluctant on saying it. It's a copycat league.
It is a copycat league, but you know what? They did a good job of it. That's the first time that we've seen it in high school this year. So
no, I gotta double check.
That one looks good.
You know, I'm getting older now, Sam. But when I was in high school, you were not allowed to push the quarterback. That rule must have changed in high school.
You know, the more that we do this great Arrow TV thing, and the more places we get to go, and the more football we get to watch, the more we'll get educated.
Yeah. It clearly isn't a rule because DeYoung pushed him right in the back. So
yeah,
it must not be a penalty anymore.
I think he got up underneath that ham hock and just pushed him forward until he had enough for a touchdown.
Right.
Well, 2 minutes left. This one is not quite out of hand. A lot can happen. Juven can bust one loose real fast and give some spark. And 25-7 with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left.
What I will say is I guess if Tier would play Pier in its normal weather is one thing, but I really don't see how T would play with Yankton. And I know Yankton did kind of blow the doors off him. But this man coverage against Yankton is just a recipe for disaster. So if Yankton does end up being the 2 seed, and you know T ends up being the 3 seed if they win tonight, they're almost doing themselves a disservice by winning this game. It kind of seems like.
Sparks is going to take the ball and he's going to go north and south real fast. He's going to hang on to the ball and take it out to just about the 30-yard line. But to your point, I don't disagree with you one bit. If T and Yankton play, that big quarterback for Yankton,
yes,
on this man coverage, they'll have to shift their defense around because that kid will go nuts.
I know when I watched that film earlier in the week, the T and Yankton game, that is what happened. Is Yankton just kind of threw all over the yard, and that's just not a good recipe for success on this, you know, for T. The way they play that tight man press defenses.
Play action to Juven, and Hemrick's gonna bootleg out, and he's got a guy who's gonna throw that was intended for
Austin Johnson, number 9.
Intended for the tight end, number 9, Austin Johnson. There haven't seen a lot of looks towards Austin on the offensive side of the ball.
No, he doesn't get targeted too much. There's a flag, it looks like the billboard says, but I don't.
Yeah, I think you said holding on the Arrows. There's a young man out there, shorts and a t-shirt. I need a heated blanket, a weighted blanket.
Tougher than us, I guess.
And maybe a hug from you to warm up here.
Marked from the spot of the infraction.
No?
Are you saying we're not going to Dairy Queen after this? Are you too cold for that, or?
Never too cold for a good blizzard. All right, so the Arrows are going to reset here. It's going to be 1st and 20, right? after the holding.
Yes, sir.
Looks like they didn't move the sticks here. So regardless, Hemrick's going to be in the shotgun. He's got the single back with Juven. He's going to drop back to pass. He had Juven on a screen, and it was set up so nice.
A lot of room.
Oh, man. So when you're throwing those screen passes, it's hard because you've got the offensive line is letting the defense essentially through. You got a bunch of guys raining down on you, and then you got to throw a nice soft ball over the hand of the defender there, and it looked like Hemrick kind of threw a dart.
Yeah, it's a bit one of those nights for the Arrows. Again, it's something that you would expect the Arrows to complete and get a bunch of yards off of, but they haven't looked real sharp tonight, Sam.
So Hemrick drops back to pass, and he's going to hand off to Juven on a little delay draw. I don't know if we've seen that from the Arrows much. That's nice. Hemrick pulled it off well. I mean, he had everybody kind of thinking pass and then just stuck it in Juven's gut.
Yeah, as many ways as you can get Juven the ball. Might as well put those in the playbook, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So Arrows are going to huddle up here as the third quarter ticks down.
Again, even now, third and long.
Yeah, get a 50-50 ball. Find Pitkin, find Olsen.
Should go to that far sideline.
Play action here.
Oh, Winch is going out and up. He's got him. Oh.
Boy, that's tough play.
Good play. Good play call.
Yeah, I like the play call, and I like the offensive line did enough to let Hemrick get the throw off. But sadly, it's going to fall incomplete, and that's tough. It's 4th and 17. 53 seconds left here. Good news on this is that you're punting with
the wind.
So we'll see what Wenches can pull off here. Punt is away. It's a high, booming kick. It's not going to take a good Arrow roll. We're going to have a flag. Not sure if that's going to be on us, if that's going to be on Fossum. Is that 82 that's walking towards us?
I guess I didn't see who it was on.
Yeah, he's pointing. I think he's pointing on 82. Yeah, I think that's Fossum.
You said 82?
Yep.
81's Fossum.
81's Fossum.
Blossman's 82.
Yeah, it was, and actually I misspoke. They were holding Blossman.
Oh, okay.
So the penalty's on T.
I say usually it's on the punt return team.
Yep. Blossman was the one that was getting held.
Gotcha.
So T's going to line up here. 44 seconds left in the third quarter. Take over on the 34-yard line. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this one's going to go right up the middle. And it goes right up the middle, and this time the Arrows do a great job of stuffing it. Gang tackled by quite a few. There might be some extracurricular activities going down here that the Arrows aren't happy about. We're going to have to do a good job of watching both the ball and then the back half of it. There's about 9 Arrow players there that weren't happy with that T player.
Yeah, we've said it. T doesn't care. They're going to keep blocking until there's a flag thrown on them or they're told to stop. They're going to keep blocking as long as they can.
Yeah, and really that's what they're doing. And the referee is standing right in front of him. I mean, there's 2 referees right there that aren't calling it. So we'll see after number 8 takes the ball here and gets tackled, run down by another 4 guys. That's going to bring up the fourth quarter. We're going to take this time to take a quick timeout brought to you by Dakota Land Federal Credit Union as we enter the fourth quarter.
It's over 150 yards on the ground for DeYoung. That's the end of the third quarter.
I'm Caden Beauchamp, and you're watching Watertown Football on Arrow TV.
My name's Julio Estes, and you're watching Arrow Football on Arrow TV.
Okay, and we are back for the start of the fourth quarter. 25-7, Arrows chasing 18. What do you do?
Well, what I would say is you got a big game coming up next week. Stay locked in. Keep improving as much as you can. Don't let this, don't let this spiral out of hand anymore. But just do everything you can to improve for next week. Stay locked in. This one game really didn't matter. We talked about it 2 weeks ago. You had to win 2 of your last 3 games. They did that.
Yep.
That was a big goal that they checked off. It's not just finishing this game the right way.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. I mean, you just can't do anything silly. Can't do anything that's going to hurt you next week. As 15 takes the ball and he runs on the right side here, makes a couple guys miss, gets over to the sideline. Big old stiff arm, and he's going to get out of bounds and turn around and let the Arrow defenders know who he is.
Yeah, I think the thing that I keep kind of thinking in the back of my mind, what this kind of reminds me of, I know you're not going to like this, it's kind of like the 49ers. It's
29 yards.
It's a physical football team, almost as physical as we've seen, period. They block late, they block a bit after the whistle, not so much in the, anything like an unsportsmanlike thing.
Sure.
But it's their MO, it's what they do. They block hard, they block physical, and then they just run the ball all over the place. It's kind of what it reminds me of. I know you don't like the 49ers.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, they're big, they're bad, they're physical, and they don't care.
Right.
And here they're going to go deep into about double, triple coverage there and avoid the flag.
And that was close, too.
Yeah, I think that one maybe was a little closer here.
Conrad's pass intended for Halber.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Good news is that it stops the clock. And here's the game reset real quick. I mean, T's got 277 rushing yards and 4 passing yards. And here we see it. I mean, Watertown's got 78 rushing yards, 59 passing yards. They haven't really been able to move the ball a whole lot on offense, and they can't stop on defense, and that's a recipe for a tough game.
Right. Aside from that one big run play by Juven.
Yeah.
Offense hasn't really been there tonight.
And then you had that 41-yard pass by Hemrick to Olsen.
And then that resulted in 0 points when you couldn't cash it in when you had a couple jobs before half. So.
Right. So you got a 51-yard run by Juven, a 41-yard reception by Olsen, and then outside of that, I mean, they've been struggling to find ways to move the ball against this pretty vaunted T defense, and then you can't stop them on offense.
Yeah, to me, I feel like it started on that first 4th down after the first quarter ended, 4th and 6, and they run a screen play on it that you kind of had sniffed out, you let get away.
Yep.
And to me, it feels like you haven't quite gotten it back since then.
So T's going to go on 3rd and 9 here. They're going to drop back to pass. He's got some time. He's going to go to that same well there on the passing game. Look for 19 on that crossing route to the post.
Incomplete.
So 4th and 9.
Brings up 4th and 7.
But it's going to stop the clock again too. So 10.5 minutes left.
T's really started to throw the ball more the last really 2 or 3 minutes of this ball game here.
Well, and I think if you're T, it's smart, because you can run.
Right.
I mean, you've proven that you can run against any team in the state.
Put something else on film for the next couple of weeks. Teams prepare for you.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I mean, you got to show it. I mean, you got to show it and let teams know that you're willing to do it as T goes for it here on 4th and 9, up by 18 with 10.5 minutes left in the 4th. So shotgun single back here. God, I thought that running back moved again. Lots of time for the quarterback to throw. Throws a dart over the middle. That's the first moon ball that we've seen him throw.
Yeah.
So it'll be incomplete. 10.5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Arrows are going to take over on the Titans 22, or excuse me, their own 22, sorry. They got to move the ball, Tyson.
Yeah, and of course now Arrows are going into the wind, so that's going to create another set of problems. So, but there's time on the clock. There's a will, there's a way here. 3-score ball game right now, but you gotta do something early and often.
Hemrick's 4 for 17 with 59 yards passing and 1 interception.
A couple drops in there too.
Yeah, a couple big drops in there at the end of the 2nd quarter, and 41-yard pass to Olsen. So Hemrick is going to hand off to Juven here on the left side. Juven's going to fall forward for a few more.
Up the middle.
So at this point, then, if you're Watertown, are you content with just kind of running it out, handing it off to Juven?
No, I think, to me, and especially these young kids, there's plenty of time left in this game. I would for sure give them this one more drive to do everything I can to score and get back in it.
Sure.
Pretty soon here, I would be calling the dogs off, though. Because, you don't need somebody to get dropped in the back of their head or twist up an ankle, especially somebody like a Juven. But I do, you're only 3 scores down with 10 minutes to go in this ball game. You like to see if they can put some points on the board just to stay in it. But Coach Horvath's got in the back of his mind too, next week's gonna be more important than pressing this one all the way to the end. So
in all likelihood, we'll be hosting Aberdeen Central next week in a home playoff game.
They're up right now.
I'm gonna just take a quick second here and take a look and see if I can get a score on Aberdeen as Hemrick takes the snap here. And he's got a little bit of time to throw. He's got a man, and there's Coltrane. Right, I mean, that ball was thrown right in front of us. If Coltrane leaves his feet, does he have a chance, you think? I mean, I know it's tough.
I think it's a tough angle for us. I think it was a little over his head. He didn't even...
Well, here's a good replay here brought to you by Dakota Land Federal Credit Union. And
I think it's a little over him.
Yeah, it's tough. That angle is tough, and that's a tough play for Hemrick and a tough catch for Coltrane. So, so Aberdeen Central got beat by Sioux Falls Lincoln 55-7. So
let's see if Huron won then.
So Huron, as the Wenches gets it away, and it's going to be fair caught up the 50-49-yard line. Huron's currently losing to Yankton 21-0.
Oh, they got Yankton.
Yeah, so in all likelihood, Huron's going to lose. Aberdeen Central's going to win, or is going to lose, excuse me. So it's going to set up put the Arrows as the 4 seed. T will remain the 3 seed, and then the Arrows will host Aberdeen Central next week at the iconic Watertown Stadium.
Assuming all those PowerPoints don't get all screwy on us and change everything else.
That's certainly not official by any means, but
it's more of an assumption.
Yeah, a pretty likely assumption.
I think you are correct.
So we'll see what T does here. If they're going to just go ahead and run it out, give it to DeYoung one more time. Goes in between the guard and the tackle, or the guard and the center, excuse me.
Yeah, I would also think this is probably T's last drive for the offensive starters. I'm guessing as well. But you got bigger fish to fry coming up here. You got your eyes set on bigger goals. So especially DeYoung, that guy's workload. Even though they spread it out tonight, he's got 19 carries for 163 yards. He's had quite the day. He's been fun to watch, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good football team. I mean, this is a team that I think matches up better with Pierre. Jeez. Wenches just threw DeYoung off of him. Wenches absolutely threw DeYoung right off of him, got off that block and started running down the field. And the Arrows bench is begging for a penalty, for a late hit, or for an unnecessary roughness downfield there. But you know what? I mean, the referees haven't called it once.
Right. That's what we talked about and it's not that T's being dirty. I don't feel that way. But when you can continuously get away with those things, you're going to keep doing it. And right now they've imposed their will all night. There's no way they're going to stop.
No, man, and if anything, the refs are definitely being consistent. I mean, they've let it go all game, and they're not going to stop. But they are going to have to get a hold of it because I think it's going to get a little chippy here pretty fast.
I kind of hoped earlier in this game.
And there's a flag. I think you're going to get a flag on T.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get a flag on T's sideline here.
Coach Hordorf's given the nearest official a bit of an earful here, it looks like, too. Like I said, this is what you don't want, is when things get a little out of hand. I was hoping early in the game Watertown was going to respond to that physicality with, dose their own medicine, but we just haven't quite seen that yet. And now, worst case scenario, one of our guys is down. It looked like he was kind of getting flipped over the play when it was essentially over there. So it's something you hate to see, too.
Yeah, we can't get a number to find out who's down.
I see.
You're zooming in. Is that Hawk? I think that's big. I think
It
it's
is.
78.
That's who it is.
Yeah, I think we zoom in on Big Micah Hawk. You know, that young man's got such a bright future, getting recruited by Nebraska and Iowa State and Brookings, and we just hope that this is a minor injury. And as you see, some great shots here by Aero TV as all the Aero players are taking a knee, and it'd be nice to see T maybe reciprocate that a little bit, but they're in huddle.
Yeah, it's 49ers.
Yeah, jeez. Sheesh. Let's take a quick 30-second break and go to a commercial here brought to you by Dakota Land Federal Credit Union.
Hi, this is Coach Hodorf, and you are watching Aero Football on Aero TV. Go Arrows!
Where the play was dead. After the play, there was an unsportsmanlike conduct on the Titans. That'll move it from the 20 back to the 35-yard line.
All right, so
Second and
we are
22 from
back as Micah's getting helped off the field. Thoughts are with that young man, and looks like he's putting some weight on there, so that's good to see, but he is getting helped. It's an impressive young man, both on the football field and off the football field. It's a great follow on Twitter. Shares a lot of the recruits that are going his way, so I hope he's okay, and just wish that young man the best as T hands off here to number 14. Cuts inside, real shifty kid, and hard tackle there by Austin Johnson.
No gain in the play. We do
Almost looked like he took him to Suplex City there.
Yeah. Watertown's bench is still not happy. They're throwing their hands up, looking around. I don't know what he's asking for there, but listen, it's starting to just get a little out of hand here.
Yeah.
There's a play that came in there. It looks like at the end.
Yeah, that's holding on T, and that may be a little too late by the referee crew to throw a holding call after some questionable non-calls.
So I think they're just trying to kind of contain what's going on here before something soon. And they said, you know what, pretty soon here, both teams are going to start getting their starters out of here. Got to keep everybody healthy. Micah looks like, well, his night's done for sure now.
Yeah.
They're going to give him the rest of the night off, but you just don't want to see that happen to anybody else.
See what T does here as 14 goes in motion, and they're going to drop back to pass, and it's going to be a designed quarterback draw. He's going to go up the middle, make a couple guys miss, almost take out the referee, and be tackled at about the 35-yard line.
It's dangerous with that referee in the middle, right behind those linebackers there.
For sure, especially with the amount of times that T runs the ball up the middle. It's going to set up a 3rd and 21 from the 34 after all the penalties. 7.5 minutes left, and like we talked about at this point, I mean, if you're Watertown, let's just get out of here.
Yeah, keep everybody healthy, get them out. You know, again, relatively soon here, but you want to see some fight, not just after the play. You want to see some physicality, and so just Arrows for once. No, there's gonna be a false start. Just for once, I can indefinitely say I have not seen the Arrows be the aggressor tonight.
The life of a kicker, Tyson, as number 21 Riley Fisher and number 39 Tommy Foley stand in front of us by themselves at the bench.
Punters and kickers, man, they're
a different breed.
They are a different breed. They're special in their own way, and man, I can't barely kick a ball 10 yards, and these guys, like we've talked about a few weeks ago, they were hitting 50-yarders in warm-ups. So
yeah, the Aero kickers have a bright future. Those two young men can boot a ball as T drops back to pass again. You know, so help me understand that. You know, you got an 18-point lead. There's 6.5 minutes left, and I mean, I get it. It's 3rd and 26.
Yeah,
but
I think.
You know, I mean, is that kind of the thought process?
You know, I get it too. This game's not the game's not quite out of hand yet, so I'm okay with it. It's really only a 3-score game, but yeah, I know what you're getting at.
Well, I mean, if the Arrows can turn around and get a quick score, get a 2-point conversion, I mean, at that point you're chasing 10, but you still got to get 2 stops. As Sparks takes the punt and makes a few guys miss, tries to change direction and go the other way and gets tackled by number 7, Ethan Miller for the T area Titans. That's his first tackle of the night. 6 minutes and 25 seconds left. We'll see what offense Odor brings out to the field.
Looks like it's all the starters still here.
6:25 to go in the game at their own 6-yard line.
So yeah, it does look like the starters are huddled up around Coach. Doesn't look like T's brought out their second team yet either. And it doesn't look like the Arrows are going to trot out their second team either. So we're going to see the starters for another series.
And they maybe want to work on a few more things here. Like I said, they haven't been fantastic here tonight on offense. They're still going into the win, so that's going to create some problems. But
it's a great run by Wenches as he goes up the middle. He's got the whole field in front of him. The 40, 30, 20, 10, 5 touchdowns, Spencer Wenches.
That's the thing is there's still 6 minutes on the clock. That was a little faster than I expected it to tick off.
So did you have on your bingo board Spencer Wenches for a 95-yard touchdown run?
Was that a direct snap or not?
It was hard to say. Was that the Wildcat?
Again, we're not high enough I couldn't quite see.
Let's see the replay brought to you by Dakota Land Federal Credit Union, and all we can see is that young man running his fastest 99-yard dash. Impressive.
That's why the offense is still in there, Sam.
That's right. What do we know? But like I said, if you had Spencer Wenches for a 95-yard touchdown run on your bingo card, bingo.
Check it off.
Check it off. Grab that dauber and stamp it, because that young man, all he does is score touchdowns.
And they're going to go for 2 here.
Yep, make it a 10-point game. And Wenches is in the Wildcat. He is the quarterback. I'm guessing that's what happened on that big long run. Wench is going to try to bounce it outside, and it's good. That's a 10-point game. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a game.
He looked a little tired there when he bounced out. I think the 95-yard touchdown run kind of wore on him a little bit.
You know what? What's stamina by that athlete?
He's going to be asking for the kickoff playoff, even though he's not on kickoff.
Yeah, he's begging for a playoff.
A little life to this Watertown crowd here.
Yeah, good to hear. I mean, 25-15. This game's, it's far from over.
That's what I mean. When you asked me when they were still throwing, I'm like, you got to keep in mind 6.5 minutes to go. A lot can still happen.
Yep. So now, if you're Watertown here, do you kick it away and try to stop T on defense again, or do you do an onside? What do you do?
Yeah, I think you kick it deep here. You're still kicking into that wind, but the best thing we used to do is, if we could, when the wind's in your face, kick it up, kind of pooch it up high as you can, see if that wind holds it back and gets a good bounce coming back towards you, and you can ever pick one up. But if you're kicking off here in your Watertown, this 40-yard line, try to put it on that 27, 28-yard line, again, as high as you can, right behind this second line. There's a lot of green grass over here.
Yeah.
They're all set up on that onside.
Yeah.
But that's what I would try to do, is pooch it up, maybe get a bounce, and with that wind blowing back in your face.
It'd be great if we could see a shot of how T's lined up defensively here on the special teams.
That wind.
They've got everybody on the 50 and the 40-yard line. They're setting up for an onside kick, but if you can get it over that second wave,
get a nice gush of wind to bounce back towards you.
Yep, and try to keep it up a little bit. I mean, there is room there. Or you can boot it away, too, because it's still a live ball, and we know that the Watertown kickers have big legs. So they are going to onside kick, and that was touched by T.
We were offsides.
There was a flag that was thrown right away.
Before you get your hopes up.
Yeah, it's going to be a false start on Watertown. Yeah, there's a false start on Watertown. Let's see if we can see it on the replay here.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Who is that? 86. So 86 for the Arrows. Cooper Ketwig. He was past the ball before the ball was kicked.
Yeah, a little eager there.
Yep.
And the coach, that drives him nuts when you're on the back side of that kick. and you know you're not going to be the guy that gets it, then that's when it's really tough. If you're on the side trying to get the ball, you get a little bit more grace to it, but
sure,
it's tough when you're on the back side of it.
So I mean, if you're the kicker, excuse me, if you're the kicker here for the Arrows, are you going to go back to the well and go right to him?
I kick it to the same guy that just dropped it.
Yep, same. That's exactly what I'm saying.
You know it's on his mind. It's, you know, kick it to the exact same spot.
Yep, and he may go on, please don't kick it to me, please don't kick it to me, please don't kick it to me.
Other way.
So this time they're going to go into that other direction, into that area that we said there nobody was. Four's going to field the ball and go back. He's going to take the ball, Mister on the other side of the field. We may got away with a block in the back. And he's going to be gang tackled at about the 15, 16-yard line.
Again, even these guys that don't play as much.
Hodorf is not happy.
You can see how chippy this game has gotten. These guys that are coming in for just a couple plays here, it's.
Hodorf's got to be careful. He's walking all the way down to the field to get his word in. Does a good job, says what he needs to say, and walks away. That's a veteran coach. I think he's got every right in the world to be upset, though.
Yeah, like I said, again, the refs are letting him go, and as an 18, 17-year-old kid, you're going to go as much as someone lets you go. Yeah, they're letting him play football tonight.
We do have a flag on T.
Personal foul called on the Titans.
So they're going to call a personal foul on T. I didn't catch who it was on other than T.
I don't know I think when he was down, I think somebody got flipped over that top of that pile. I don't know if that's who it was, but again, if you're the Arrow defense, that was a great deep kickoff now. So see if you can get him a 3 and out and get back on offense here.
So we're missing big Micah Hawk in the middle of that line. So in there now is going to be number 65, Jaden Lambert, number 52. Oh, looks like we got a little bit of an accident behind us there. So T's going to hand off here as we work with that accident behind us.
There's a lot going on in Sioux Falls tonight, Sam.
T, there's a lot going on in T.
I don't know the difference between T and Sioux Falls.
Fair enough, but we heard it behind us, and it thinks everybody's okay.
It's got the Arrows crowd looking around here.
Yeah, seems to be that everybody's okay, so that's the important part.
Don't worry, Doug. It was not the Yukon.
Yeah. Doug Sharp, everything's fine. The Yukon is safe. And it doesn't appear that my daughter was involved in that, so we're happy. Okay, back to the football game. T's going to try to wind up some clock here. Arrow's got to come up with a couple of stops, use some timeouts. They're going to go after the ball. They're tackling hard. Arrow's got a little bit of juice under him here.
Right side.
That's 21 carries for 170 yards for DeYoung.
8 yards per carry. My goodness.
22 carries for 172 yards, updated stats. Pretty impressive. The clock goes down under 5 minutes. It brings up a 3rd and 3. It's got to be the play of the game right here. This has got to, I mean, they got to come up with a stop here if they want any chance to win this game.
And again, Micah Hawk's not in right now. So Jaden Lambert up middle.
Beauchamp's out there on the other side.
Nashberg, they all got held up there on the interior.
So 3rd and 3 with 4.5 minutes left. T's going to suck down this clock as much as they can. They're going to hand off right up the middle. And
there you go.
Gang tackled by a slew of Arrows. I believe he's going to be short, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, Blake Winches was in on that one, too.
Tackled by number 4, Jeremiah Schulte.
Number 4, Jeremiah Schulte, they said on the loudspeaker.
Yeah, and I believe Schulte leads the Arrows in tackles this season as well. So it's 4th and not a lot. 1, 4th and 3. And it looks like the T offense is going to remain on the field.
It's going to be
It's 4th and 1.
We're going to see the Eagles play here, Sam?
I want to see the Arrow defense sell out. Or are T's got some timeouts? Are they going to milk the clock, try to get him to jump?
No, they're going for it. They're going to push him.
They are going to go for it, and they did a good job of bringing him back.
It's close.
Yeah, but the back judge is giving it to him immediately. Gives him the 1st down right away. Good job by the Arrow defense there. That was close. Awfully aggressive call.
Yeah, I told you. I think they actually want to match up with Pierre instead of Yankton. They figure, what do we got to lose here?
I think T matches up with Pierre a lot better than Yankton.
Absolutely.
So 3.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter here, as T is going to milk the clock for everything it's got before they hand off here. And tough exchange. Tough exchange. Oh boy, there's going to be a flag.
That's going to do it.
And Hodorf is letting him know that he is not happy with that, because I feel like it's
gone on all night.
Yep, it really has. And then with 3 minutes left, you're going to get one on the Arrows.
See if I can hear what number they say it's on.
So the officials are getting together. We'll see if we can find out who the penalty is on. We know it's on us. Yeah, personal foul on us. Didn't catch a number. Now, if Arrow TV,
15-yard penalty results in a Titans.
They don't typically say it.
So yeah, now if we were in Watertown with Arrow TV, we would have that referee mic'd up, and we would all know.
Yeah. Sioux Falls and Tier, it's all the same to me. It's not home.
Well, it'll be nice to be back into the friendly confines of the iconic Watertown Stadium next week, hosting a playoff game. And Tyson, do you know offhand, is that game going to be on Thursday or Friday?
It's Thursday.
Thursday?
Week from tonight.
1 week from tonight? Okay, good. And be welcoming back Aberdeen Central. And, for those that didn't see the Aberdeen Central game, I believe it was just last week, maybe the week before, it was a great game, one possession game, and Aberdeen missed a field goal at the end of the fourth quarter for the Arrows to squeak out a 2-point win.
Did you say Aberdeen Central?
Aberdeen Central.
It was Spearfish, and then Mitchell, and then it was sent 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago? That seems like so long ago.
It does.
Who did we play last week?
We were in Spearfish.
In Spearfish. And then we were home against Mitchell. Yep, so 3 weeks ago. So time out on the field, 2nd and 6 with 2 minutes and 24 seconds left. If you're Watertown, we got to stay away from the chippiness, not cause any accidents like we see behind us, and get everybody out of here healthy, and look forward to Aberdeen Central.
Once again, we'd like to thank Glass Doctors.
I was just going to try to pull up that schedule, but I do remember seeing it was next Thursday was the schedule.
Titan Athletics.
For the playoff game? Sure.
Yeah.
I got it right here. So the playoffs will be, it'll be Thursday, October 26th.
And then planning on the 3rd, which is a Friday after that. Don't take, you don't look too far ahead, but.
Yeah, if we're, so it'll be Thursday, October 26th. We'll be hosting that game against the 5 seed, most likely Aberdeen Central. If we're fortunate enough to win that game, then we'll be on the road on Friday, November 3rd.
Probably going to Pierre.
Yeah, most likely going to Pierre. So T is going to is perfectly content winding down the clock and getting out of here, most likely with a W. Got my beautiful daughter joins us from
Vermillion.
From
college to say hi to the old man.
Came all the way from Vermillion to watch her alma mater, the Watertown Arrows, play.
She just requested that she did not want to be put on TV.
What she doesn't understand is all the cameras are pacing the football field, the important stuff.
She thinks they put them on our ugly mugs all night.
So 2 minutes left as the clock winds down here. T's holding on to a 10-point lead. If you're Watertown, get out of here unscathed, get Micah healthy, see if we could get Briggs healthy, and go and take down an Aberdeen Central team and win a home playoff game. So T's going to hand off here. He's going to take it right up the middle like we've seen all night. This time he's going to, a big old stiff arm. Great job of tackling him from behind. And that's number 4 for the Arrows. That's Jeremiah Schulte. That's not going to show up on the paper for Schulte, but when you're down by 10 and the young kid is trying to break the record.
Are they not going to knee it out now? Or they're going to keep going.
But Schulte does just a fantastic job of running him down, not giving up on the play. he not only did he try, not only did he make the tackle, but he tried to rip the ball out. Pretty impressive there by that young man. Would like to see T take a knee here.
Nope.
No, of course they're not going to. And DeYoung's going to walk in for another touchdown here to make it 32-15. 31-15. We'll see what T does with the extra point. So 31-15, minute and 5 left. I hate keep being so repetitive, but if you're Watertown, this one's done.
Yep, scratching.
Yep, it's over.
24-hour rule, Sam. You're going to watch the one tonight. You're going to get a little better from that. Meet with everybody, see what you can shore up. And again, it's on to.
Got a block kick.
What I will say will be good in film is the point after block team.
So
1 of 5.
Let's talk about that. You and I were talking about that today at work. We were talking about the 24-hour rule. Tell our viewers what the 24-hour rule is and why it's important.
Well, just whether you win the game or you lose the game, it's you turn the page, you get on to the next opponent next week. You watch film, you celebrate the win or you reflect on the loss. You see how you can get better. You turn your page the next week. Whether you won this game or lost, you're doing it either way. You got a bigger goal ahead of you next week, hosting a home playoff game, which I don't believe Watertown's done in quite a few years. So that's kind of what the focus turned to now. But you got 24 hours to learn from this one, get better from it, and move on to what I believe is going to be Aberdeen Central.
Yeah, so in a nutshell, it's, you've got 24 hours to watch this, understand it, learn from it, and that 24 hours starts now.
Sure does.
And so you watch that film, but then you also go right to Aberdeen Central.
And I said you've played them now. You kind of know what to expect from them. I'm much happy that you're going to get them at home opposed to being at Aberdeen Central like you were last time. You're going to have the home crowd behind you and have to travel. But Watertown is built for these cold weather games. If the weather gets a little bit worse, if it's raining, if it's windy, if it snows, they're going to be ready for all those games. And I don't remember exactly Central's game plan, what that was like now, but Watertown's built for this weather, the way they run the ball and the way they play defense.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And, as we're visiting about that great run by number 81, Marcus Foss, I'm not sure how there was no horse collar there, but, what do I know? Great replay here brought to us by Dakota Land Federal Credit Union. Like he had maybe had some jerseys. So 57 seconds left. We'll wrap this one up. We'll see what the Arrows do here. Looks like they got their second team offense in. Gonna hand off here and gonna get swallowed up real fast, which is okay. Good sportsmanship on the Arrows here on the other side as Caden Beauchamp picks up the T Titan. I believe that's Caden Beauchamp, 67. So 40 seconds here. We'll run down stats here real fast for your Arrows. Wenches led the way with 95 yards on 2 carries, had that long run of 94 yards for a touchdown. Juven had 10 carries for 75 yards, also had a touchdown, long of 51. Passing game was a little tight tonight, Tyson. Hemrick threw the ball 18 times and completed
4 passes.
Completed 4 of them for 59 yards. Have the long completion to Mitch Olson for 41 yards. So, we'll take a couple minutes here and just kind of reset this game a little bit and look forward to Aberdeen Central. We're gonna follow the same 24-hour rule that we talked about. We're gonna learn from T, and then we're gonna move on to Aberdeen Central.
Yeah, I'm gonna file this one away. I'm excited to go back and watch that Aberdeen Central film again from the Arrows game, and just see kind of. I know I told you that wasn't the game I thought they played their best either, so I expect them to be sharper in that game, and especially when they were tonight, and rebound for a big playoff game next week.
So before we sign off here, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody at home in Watertown for watching. I appreciate the grace and the patience as we struggled through some technical difficulties. A huge, massive shout out to Sharps for the use of the vehicle. Appreciate the community stepping up and helping this thing that we call Aero TV. Thank you to Nate Graff and Sign Pro for giving us some love on his billboard on Highway 20. And thank you to Ryan Remmers for coming out here with all these kids, taking time off of work. Thank you to Craig Boyens for letting these kids out of school. And, thank you, man, for sitting down next to me and braving the cold. We're going to sign off, but we hope to see everybody next week. If you can't make it to Watertown Stadium, please join us on Aero TV.
Thursday night. Thank you, Sam.
Thursday night.